Hello, and welcome to the 2019 Human Relation and Marcile in Wood Awards. My name is Sean Dellenbaugh with the Human Relations Commission, and I'm honored to be here with the Women's Commission to celebrate and recognize a small fraction of those who work hard to make a meaningful, positive change within our amazing city of Fort Collins. We would like to welcome the recipients who actively make our city a better place for all. We also thank family and friends who are here to support and honor the tremendous effort of these awardees. And thank you to all of those who nominated individuals and recognized their valuable hard work within our town. We are thankful for the presence of our Mayor, Wade Troxel, city staff, leaders who advocate and promote diversity and inclusion in our community. It is my pleasure to introduce the Mayor of Fort Collins, Wade Troxel.
Well, thank you, Sean, and thank you all for being here. What a great night it is for Fort Collins, and it's a great celebration. I'd like to recognize our council members that are here. Emily Gargoyle, she's a council member. She's also the liaison, council liaison to both the Women's Commission and the Human Relations Commission. So she has a big part in tonight's ceremony, and you'll be seeing her in just a moment. And also like to recognize and thank Ross Caniff for being here, as well as Julie Pignataro. Thank you both for being here, and it adds to this event as well. You know, we're so fortunate in so many ways, and this is tonight's celebration, and this recognition for these awards is one of those. And I'd like to thank the family and the friends for all that have come out and support and encourage the recipients who are receiving awards this evening. Also like to give a special thank you to those who took time to nominate this year's awardees, recognizing those who serve and enrich our community by embodying the spirit of inclusiveness, giving, and altruism. Tonight, the Human Relations Commission will present its 37th annual awards in this ceremony, recognizing those that are change makers and sometimes they're unsung heroes in our community who have served to inspire others to practice fairness, equality, and community in the advancement of human dignity. And tonight also, we recognize the Fort Collins Women's Commission in the presenting of the 27th annual Marcile N. Wood Award, established to acknowledge those who have significantly contributed to improving the lives of women and families in our community. So, thanks for coming out tonight, and look forward to the awardees and their comments and these spectacular awards that will be presented. And with that, I'm going to turn it back to Sean, and thank you all for being here tonight. Thanks, Sean.
Thank you, Mayor Troxel. At this time, it is my honor and privilege to introduce an individual who has dedicated her life to implementing, of course, all of these, to an individual who has dedicated her life to implementing inclusion and promoting equity. Please help me welcome the co-founder of the Diversity Solutions Group and previous winner of the Human Relations Commission Award, the distinguished Alma Vigo Morales.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this special occasion. This is the season of giving thanks, and I have recently learned that the term thank you comes from the word think. It originally meant something along the lines of, I think about what you did for me. And so I don't know all of the recipients of the HRC awards tonight, but I know Mary and Johanna and Kate and the incredible Compass School. I love Mary Ontiveros. I love Johanna Ojoa Hiron. I love Kate Kimball. Where are you? And I love the staff at the Compass School. And by the end of the ceremony, I'm sure I will also love Delaney McNally. Where are you? who they are and how they are and what they do just blows my mind. Thank you for all of the contributions that you make to our beautiful community. I will think about what you did for me. I want to share with you a little story that perhaps some of you know, but I think it's worth thinking about tonight. One day, a group of villagers was working in the fields by a river. Suddenly, someone noticed a baby floating downstream. A woman rushed to get the baby out of the water, and she dried it and fed it and made sure that it was warm. Then, before you know it, another baby was coming down the river. This time it was a man who rushed over and got the baby out of the water, and he dried it and fed it and made sure that it was warm. Then, just when they thought it was all over, more babies were coming down the river, and more villagers got them out of the water and dried them and fed them and made sure they were warm. But the babies kept coming. The village got super busy taking care of so many babies. They opened a family center, a daycare center, a food distribution center, a healthcare clinic, foster care and adoption services, and so many services. But as busy as they were, one day, a team of villagers got together and decided to walk up the river to see what was causing these babies coming down the river. Because, you know, there were so many speculations floating around in the village. Were these babies just abandoned? Were they thrown into the river on purpose? Did the babies fall into the river? Was it an accident? Or was there a village in distress up the river that couldn't take care of its babies? Or could it be that the babies themselves wanted to float down the river? It's been very difficult for that team of villagers to determine what's causing these babies to come down the river. But they are persistent, and they keep walking up the river, and I think they're getting some clues. There are many excellent services in Fort Collins addressing many needs in our community. And there are many teams that work up the river to try to understand and prevent the issues that cause those needs. And the truth is, we need it all. Villagers downriver taking care of the babies that are coming down the river, and villagers that walk up the river to determine the causes and address them. A new Fort Collins is on the horizon. And it will be more wonderful than any of us can possibly imagine. Our greatest deeds and ideas are ahead of us, not behind us. But we need great activists in our village to build that Fort Collins. And that's you, HRC. That is you, Women's Relations Commission. We need you not to give up, ever. We need you to establish and finish your goals. Check, check, check. We need you to leverage each other, tap into local resources, be creative, coach, inform, and inspire others in the community. And we need you all to be a little insane, insanely committed to diversity and inclusion and equity and human rights. I promise it will change your lives, and it will change our lives forever. In closing, I want to share with you a little conversation that Linus and Snoopy had. Linus said, "We only live once, Snoopy." And Snoopy responded, "Wrong. We die once. We live every day." So HRC and Women's Relations Commission, Thank you for recognizing the heroes and sheroes of our village and for helping to create a wonderful community. Thank you for working up the river. Thank you. And I will think about what you did for me.
Alma, thank you so much for your wise words. I will think about that as well. My name is Hannah Little, and I have the honor to represent the Women's Commission here tonight. And for those of you who aren't familiar with us, our goals in this community are to advocate for women's health, stability, and economic stability, or health, sorry. You should think I'd know this after 4 years, but here we are. So health, safety, and economic stability are three of the main points that we've especially been working on in the past year. And we're so honored tonight to bring our Marcile N. Wood awardee to just to highlight someone in our community who may not be recognized by other people. And I have to say, looking at this room, I'm sure almost everybody has contributed in some vast way. So that's the great part. We're here to celebrate who we are as a community and what we're doing in Fort Collins. So without further ado, I'm going to invite Councilwoman Emily Gorgel up here, and she's going to introduce this year's awardee.
Thank you, Hannah, and I'm also going to invite the mayor up to help me present. And I'm just so thankful to be able to be the liaison to both the Women's Commission and the HRC, and so honored to be able to present the Women's Commission Award and then help give out the HRC awards tonight. So this annual Marcile N. Award was established in 1992 to acknowledge those who have significantly contributed to improving the lives of women and families in our community. The award is in memory of Marcile Norby Wood, who positively impacted Fort Collins for 40 years. So I'm going to invite this year's awardee, Kelly Glick, to come up. Where is she? There she is. Hi, Kelly. So Kelly has had a lot of really nice things written about her, so I'm going to ask you guys to settle in while I tell you all the great things about her, and she can stand up here and be embarrassed. So Kelly was nominated by the Rocky Mountain High School Student Services Department. Kelly is a school social worker who has primarily worked at Rocky Mountain High School for nearly 20 years and recently has shifted roles into the Poudre School District Mental Health Education and Connections Specialist. Throughout her career, Kelly has worked with individuals, small groups, school-wide wellness interventions, school-wide mindfulness integration into classrooms, and training teachers for trauma-informed teaching. The ripples to the lives, women, and families in Fort Collins through Kelly's work is immeasurable. It's a lot of work. Thank you. It keeps going. Kelly has provided both individual and small group counseling to a wide range of teenagers facing a variety of struggles. She approaches each student and group with grace, dignity, respect, and humor, no matter how intense the situation. Both students and staff have trusted her with their most intense mental health struggles, and she played an important role in not only meeting the individual needs of students and staff, but also advocating for more wellness, mindfulness, and trauma-informed resources for all. Annually, Kelly has helped with our peer counseling program by training them on QRP, which is suicide prevention curriculum, and participating in our peer summit training by being a presenter. By training students to help other students and community members, countless lives have been changed. Kelly has created and run multiple groups at Rocky Mountain High School focusing on girl empowerment. She is also a support for our LGBTQ population as a co-sponsor for the Gay Straight Alliance. School-wide, Kelly's impacts are far-reaching. She advocated and trained teachers for mindfulness in the classroom with the goal of teaching students how to self-regulate in a healthy manner to improve classroom behavior and success. For many years, she has headed up the School Wellness Committee, which worked to address a myriad of student and staff wellness concerns, as well as to help students connect with the Fort Collins community through our annual wellness fair. Several years ago, she expanded the reach by creating a student wellness committee. This gives students, the majority girls, a place to practice leadership as well as develop skills related to wellness while supporting the school community. To address increased attendance and school success struggles connected to anxiety and self-regulation, Kelly helped envision and open the Wellness Center at Rocky Mountain High School, which is a space where students can learn and practice self-regulation skills. The Wellness Center has been studied and replicated by a number of schools within PSD as well as statewide, impacting countless women and families in Fort Collins and throughout the state. She is well liked by her students, I hope so, and staff have always depended on her expertise in mental health. She is calm, professional, and always has good solutions when working with students and families. Her work has literally saved the lives of countless young women and men in Fort Collins. Thank you. That was good. Thank you so much. And I think we have the HRC. Colleen, are you present? There she is. Great. So next we have Colleen from the HRCO presenting the HRC Awards.
So thank you again, all of you, for taking the time to honor this year's Human Relations Awardees, the 37th year of honoring those community members and organizations who excel in their efforts working towards equity and inclusivity in our community. We have 5 categories: youth, adult, senior, police and emergency services, and organization. You will notice the beautiful piece of art on stage here with 5 framed prints that are given to the awardees in recognition of their service to the community. It has occurred to me often that this ceremony is really a celebration of the human spirit. And I had some remarks planned around this, but I think Peter Coley, the artist who created this artwork, says it much better than I can. So I'm going to read his letter to us. In honor of the 2017 Human Relations Award, I was commissioned to create a piece of artwork that represents its meaning and inspiration. The painting that evolved and is entitled Gathering consists of many colors, shapes, and textures. Gathering is a coming together of these elements to form a unifying experience of inclusion. My vision and inspiration for this painting came from the concept that a community contains many of these colors, shapes, and textures as well. Your commitment to the community of Fort Collins and your efforts towards acceptance and diversity within it are at the very center of a strong community and are also reflected at the center of this painting. What emanates out of that place of integrity and generosity has the possibility of reaching and touching countless individuals. I offer my congratulations to you on this very special honor and hope that this 2017 painting will help to inspire you and others to continue in your service towards the community. And it's from Peter Coley. First award is our Youth Award. So Delaney, you're up. We always have incredible young people that earn this award, and Delaney truly embodies the qualities that we are looking for to earn the 2019 Youth Award. Delaney's volunteer work focused her exceptional skills by recognizing the need for building communication bridges between youth and older adults in Fort Collins and Loveland. Delaney accomplished this by organizing intergenerational conversations, a group of collaborative partners from around the county that help put on conversation events. The purpose of these conversations is to get teens and seniors talking face-to-face about issues that are relevant to both generations and to bridge the gap between the two generations. Delaney coordinates her efforts closely with those who she has engaged to volunteer along with her, currently Colorado State University Center for Public Deliberation, the Poudre River Public Library District, and the Partnership for Age-Friendly Communities in Larimer County, and there's actually several other community organizations, including youth. High school students from Fort Collins, Rocky Mountain Key Club, Fort Collins Global Leaders, all of these have been brought together by you, Delaney. She's made the time to meet with many various boards and commissions and organizations who are interested in her efforts. She volunteered as a summer intern with the Loveland City Mayor, and I think she's also on her high school swim team. Not sure how she does this. Just a little warning, if you go to any kind of group discussion with Delaney, she's going to take your cell phone away and put it in a little box. There you go. Did you want to say a few words? No? Okay. Did I say enough? Okay.
The Adult Award goes to Johanna Bujoya Hiron. I've known Johanna for a long time, and she's amazing. More than amazing. But I won't say any more about that right now. As a psychotherapist and social worker, Johanna has extensive experience working with families in Colombia and in the United States. For many years, Johanna has worked to provide therapeutic services for diverse clientele. Johanna is the outreach service manager for Poudre River Library District. She's an adjunct professor at Colorado State University, where she is a subject expert on social and racial justice in clinical practice. Through her work, she actively creates safe spaces for racial and social healing. And we need more of that, I think. An avid reader, Johanna works with the International Board of Books for Young People, which represents a network of groups from all over the world who are committed to bringing books and children together. Johanna celebrates diversity in ways that honor and embrace a child's home language, culture, and heritage. Johanna works tirelessly with grassroots nonprofit organizations to advance issues of equity and diversity, including as the chair of the board of directors for La Familia, a member of the Community Equity Consortium, and a past member of the Human Relations Commission. When an issue arises around racial divisions, people tend to seek Johanna's wisdom and advice. Every day, Johanna supports the health and well-being of the people around her. Congratulations on this well-deserved honor.
Número 1, dar las gracias. Buenas noches. Love of my life, you sustain me through it all. Thank you. Acknowledging with respect and love the land that we are today is the traditional and ancestral homelands of the Arapaho, Cheyenne, and Ute nations and people. To love, to hope, to live, to be free, to be who you want to be, to express who you truly are, to believe what you believe, to use the pronouns that reflect you, to respect and to take care of the land, to learn and to make mistakes in public within the safety of your community, to teach, to sustain, to inspire, and to be inspired, to change your mind, to claim your body as your own, to rejoice in the peace of the assured justice, to yell to the world that who you are is a beautiful miracle that deserves nothing but love. Those are the lines of a dream dreamed by all of us for many years, by many. That is the stuff of our dreams. And here we're keeping on dreaming. Here we are keeping the dreaming alive, even when the nightmares in the detention camps are too real, even when our trans sisters are being killed, and our bodies are being imprisoned, even when the narrative is already set up and the stage is given to us as us versus them. Even then, we keep on dreaming. Because to sustain this dream is not easy. We need people to help us with that. To keep each other dreaming when reality threatens to subjugate even the most vigorous imagination. That's the task. To hold each other accountable to make this darn dream a reality. That's the task. To dismantle institutions of power built in fear and hatred. That's the task. To disarm, to disrupt, to deconstruct without exchanging our humanity. That's the task. The dream was dreamed by my ancestors and by their ancestors from the beginning of our existence. But to dream the dream in the skin color of the earth, chocolate, coffee, or the midnight sky can be a dangerous thing. And still, we keep on dreaming. We are not just dreaming. We are dreaming at times when it seems like it is an only act of faith. We are working nonstop and we're sustained by the promise of our shared humanity. This celebration is a sign of our endurance, and it is a symbol of our shared plight to make reality closer to our wildest dreams for freedom. This is our award. If you are a dreamer of color, an LGBTQ dreamer, a Native American dreamer, a dreamer with diverse cognitive abilities, a dreamer who people have been subjugated, I invite you to rejoice in the legacy of our ancestors, in the fact that we are dreaming out loud. Rejoice in the fact that despite all of those who are scared of us and threatened by our existence, we are still here. Rejoice that we are healing our present, that we are healing our future, and that we are healing our past. We are healing together. For my radical Dharma brothers and sisters, remember that we have nothing to lose but our chains. For those who have chosen to be an ally, be an ally, be an ally, be an ally, be an ally. Be an ally no matter what. Be an ally for people of color, LGBTQ+, for natives, for Jews, for children, for our aging community. Dream with us, do the task with us, and fight with us for our precious goal. For when we are free, when that day comes, then we will all be free. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Wendy True, and I'm on the Human Relations Commission. And I'm going to read or at least part of the nomination for Mary because it is just so well written. So in her 50 years of service at Colorado State University, Mary served in a variety of positions, including Director and Executive of Admissions, Associate Vice President and Vice President for Diversity. Equal to her love of CSU is her love of Fort Collins. As a former member of the Human Relations Commission and an engaged citizen in many city initiatives, Mary's commitment to positive change has been constant and consistent over the decades. Mary gives generously of her time and knowledge, endlessly working to educate people about issues of diversity and inclusion. Mary's kindness and humor pair effectively with her drive to make a systematic difference in making our community a supportive and welcoming place for individuals of all identities. Mary's philosophy is one of calling in versus calling out, and she can often be heard saying that we start this work by meeting people where they are. As an example of Mary's visionary leadership, in her current role at CSU, Mary led the creation of CSU's Principles of Community. These tenets, inclusion, integrity, respect, service, and social justice, convey the university's commitment to strengthening CSU's community by celebrating desired values and behaviors. Beyond the borders of campus, these principles extend into Fort Collins, leading the way for appreciation of diversity and active inclusion. It is impossible to quantify the number of people Mary has inspired to learn, the attitudes that have shifted, or the personal and institution growth that has resulted. Award recipients embody the spirit of inclusiveness, giving, and altruism that has made Fort Collins a better place for all people to live. And as a change maker in Fort Collins, Mary is a really great example to all of us. Thank you, Mary.
Wendy, thank you very much. Mayor Troxel, Emily, Alma, we also love you. I want to thank the Human Relations Commission as well as the Women's Commission. And yet I reflect, especially when you hear people talk about you and when you hear things like that, it's like, really? Wow, I'm humbled. I am humbled by the award, and it's absolutely beautiful. And people have asked me time and time again, when did you first start doing this kind of work? And my introduction into doing work related to social justice and inclusion and equity really began when I was really in kindergarten, probably when I was 5. And it was because in our community there was a situation. My father had returned from the Korean conflict, and he wanted to have his group march in the parade. And he wanted to have a young man who was Latino carry the American flag. And they protested. People protested and said that a Latino, a Chicano back then, could not carry the American flag. And the reason for that was because he was Chicano. and for no other reason except that. And my father talked to us as kids and said, this is not right. You need to learn how to deal with these kinds of situations. If something is not right, you need to speak out. Now, I know that not everybody has had experiences like that, and we know that not everybody has started their journey related to social justice and inclusion and equity at the age of 5. But people start somewhere. And it's important that we recognize that everybody's journey begins at a different place. And everybody's past is their past. And we need to determine really how we go forward together, not necessarily how we blame each other for what happened in the past. We need to recognize that history, not forget that history, because we don't want to repeat it. But we also have to recognize that there are many, many, many great people and allies that we want to help move forward. And if we continue to do that, Fort Collins will continue to be a great place. If we don't continue to do that, then I think it'll be problematic for everyone. Thank you so much for this award. I'm humbled.
I'm Eva Ameson, and I will be presenting the Organization Award. And will Jan Harrison come forward? Will Jan Harrison and her entire team please come forward? What a wonderful team. This year's wow. This is wonderful. This year's Organization Award goes to the Compass Community Collaborative School. And the nominator writes, I am a student at Compass, and it's the best education that I've ever had. It's, in addition to working on standards, the student feels that the school its emphasis is more on people and the social skills that they will need to succeed beyond school. Compass is a safe place, and in fact, the nominator states that this is the first school where the student has felt 100% safe. The students feel accepted and welcomed. One example that's given is that on National Coming Out Day, the math teacher made a special presentation in class to talk about the importance of that day and why it needed to be recognized. As a former educator myself, I'm very honored to present this award, and I just think it speaks so highly of a school when a student can recognize and that value, that kind of acceptance, and can feel it in that institution. So it's just an honor to be able to present this award to the Compass School.
Thank you very much. This is really quite an honor, and it means so much to us to be recognized in this beautiful city that we feel so connected to, and we want so much to be part of and help to grow. I didn't prepare a speech. I feel really even just so inspired and humbled by the words that I've heard tonight. I want you to know that we are all fighting the fight. We are allies. We are leading the march, and we are catching the babies upstream and trying to do a lot of work to continue to make this a great place to live for the next millennia.
There we go.
Very nice. Wonderful. Right here, everybody. Smile good. Thank you.
The award for the category Police and Emergency Services goes to Kate Kimball. Can Kate come up here? Kate is the public relations manager for the city of Fort Collins and has served in that role since 2015. And the city of Fort Collins is definitely a better place because of her influence in the city. Just some highlights of some of the things she's been involved in. She has been involved in outreach to the Spanish-speaking community in Fort Collins. She's taken a special interest in serving this community by learning Spanish and providing valuable outreach to this portion of the population. She serves on the Community Trust Initiative to help find ways for the city and the police to better communicate with and serve the Spanish-speaking community. She has organized multiple outreach opportunities for police officers to connect with La Familia, Hickory Village Neighborhood, Harris Bilingual School, and a Spanish class at Poudre High School, among other activities. She leads the department Spanish Club, which looks for opportunities to develop the officers' Spanish skills while engaging with the community. She's developed several Spanish videos and messages on the police social media and internet sites to help the public understand police procedures in traffic stops, calling 911, and other topics. So she's very deserving of this recognition for her leadership in this area. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This is an incredible honor to stand up here with some of the other folks who have received this award tonight. The big theme for me is every day is stories. That's the work I work in. Sometimes they're good stories, sometimes they're bad stories, sometimes they're really hard stories. And the same goes for a lot of our outreach efforts. There are so many different stories in our community. People experiencing very different lives, different Fort Collinses, different backgrounds, and it's been an honor and a privilege to receive those stories, to hear them, and to figure out how do we bring them to light? How do we create a community that is welcoming of people and their experiences, and just build that foundation so that we can continue to have those really hard conversations. I think that's one of the greatest strengths we have here in Fort Collins is we have people who are not just unafraid to have those conversations, but are really willing and eager to reach out and hear the different stories of other folks in our community so that we can create a more inclusive and diverse environment for everyone. So thank you so much.
I want to thank everyone again for coming to celebrate these awardees with us. Have a great evening. Thank you so much.